Hi guys, welcome to my channel Radhika's Lessons. Let's continue with fifth part of ratio and proportion. Let's learn continued proportion. Let's understand this first. Let us consider the ratio 4 is to 12 and 12 is to 36. They are equal ratios. If we bring them to the lowest form, 4 upon 12, we get the answer 1 upon 3, 12 upon 36, we get 1 upon 3. So in the two ratios, the successor, that is the second term of the first ratio, is equal to the predecessor, that is the first term of the second ratio. Hence 4, 12 and 36 are said to be in continued proportion. If you look at the expression 4 upon 12 and 12 upon 36, you know this 12 and here denominator of first fraction and numerator of second fraction is same. So we'll say that the two ratios are in continued proportion. So now if A upon B is equal to B upon C, now if you see B is repeated here, then A, B and C are in continued proportion. If A into X, now supposingly A into C, if we multiply these two terms, we get A into C is equal to B into B is B square. Then dividing both the sides by BC, okay, A upon B and this, we get again AC is equal to B square. Then A, B and C are in continued. If you look at the expression, you will understand that this is in continued proportion because A upon B is equal to B upon C. This is same. Or supposing if you are getting an answer to the expression AC is equal to B square, means the ratios are in continued proportion. So when A, B and C are in continued proportion, then B is known as geometric mean. That is this middle term, that is B is known as geometric mean or mean proportion. It means the same, right? Hence the following statement means the same, that is A upon B is equal to B upon C and B square is equal to AC. So when I am multiplying these two, I am getting B square, multiplying A into C is equal to AC. Now these things which we need to remember before we start solving the sums from the exercise. Now next point what we need to remember is third point, when A, B and C are in continued proportion. So here we know this is the mean proportion or geometric mean. So then they are in continued. B is the geometric mean of A and C and B is the mean proportion of A and C. So the general concept of continued proportion is if A upon B is equal to B upon C is equal to C upon D is equal to D upon E is equal to E upon F. Now if you see that B is repeated, C is repeated in the numerator of the second fraction, D is repeated and E is repeated. And A, B, C, D, E, F are said to be in continued proportion. So A upon B is equal to B upon C, which is equal to K. Now therefore K is equal to CK. Now if supposing you take only A upon B is equal to C upon D, so B is equal to CK. Now if you look at this, we will multiply this C with K, so we will get B is equal to CK. Then A is equal to, if you consider these two, then A is equal to B will multiply with K, so A is equal to BK. And also as A is equal to BK, we can substitute this B with the value of CK what we have got here. So A is equal to CK into K, which is equal to A is equal to CK square. Now let us understand this K method. The K method is used to solve example based on equal ratios, that is equal proportions. In this simple method, every equal ratio is assumed to be equal to K. So A upon B is equal to C upon D. Therefore A upon A is equal to BK and C is equal to DK. Let's begin with practice set 4.5. Page 77 of your textbook. Which number should be subtracted from 12, 16 and 21 so that resultant numbers are in continued proportion? Let the numbers to be subtracted be X. So from 12 we'll subtract x, from 16 we'll subtract x, from 21 we'll subtract x, because we do not know which is the number to be subtracted, are in continued proportion. So this will be a, b and c. This whole expression will be a, this will be b, and this will be c. They are in continued proportion. So 12 a upon b, so this will be 12 minus x upon b, and b upon c, right? So 16 minus x upon 21. So by dividendo we get a minus b upon b and c minus d upon d. So this is a and this is b. So a minus b. So this is b. So 12x minus 16x upon 16x, and here also c minus d. So 16x minus x minus 21. This is d. So minus 21 upon x. So 21 upon x. When you open the bracket, all signs will be changed. Minus 16 and plus x. Minus 16 and plus x. This you open the bracket, minus 12 and positive x. So now left hand side, if you look at, negative x and positive gets cancelled. So 12 minus 16 is minus 4 in the numerator, and denominator will be the same. Here also minus x plus x gets cancelled. 16 minus 21 we get minus 5 upon denominator will be the same. Now we have got 4 upon 16 minus x is equal to 5 upon. Now here both the terms are negative. So negative sign is gone. Left hand side is negative, right hand side, so negative sign goes away. So 4 upon 16 minus x is equal to 5 upon 21 minus x. Now this expression will go there, this expression will go to the right hand side, and this will go to the left hand side. So 4 into 21 minus x and 5 into 16 minus x. When we multiply, we get 84, and 4 into x, 4x, 16 5s are 80, and 5x. When we solve further, we get x is equal to minus 4. Minus 4 should be subtracted from 12, 16 and 21, so that the resultant numbers are in continued proportion. Let's come to question number 2. If 28 minus x is the mean proportional of this and this, then find the value of x. Now if you look at these three expressions, this is mean proportion, means this is b, and this is a, and this is c. So 28 minus x is the mean proportion. So 23 minus x, this is a, 23 minus x will be a, and 28 minus x will be b. So this b is again repeated in the next expression because it is continued proportion. So 28 minus x upon 19 minus x. So this is a upon b is equal to b upon c. Now by dividendo we know that a minus b upon a upon b is equal to a minus b upon b. So this is a and b, so we are taking this as a and minus b here in the numerator. Upon the same way here, b minus c minus d upon d. By dividendo, we should remember the rules. So when you solve, open the bracket, opposite signs. Here you open the bracket, you get opposite signs. This will be negative, this will be positive. So opposite signs gets cancelled. 23 minus 28 we have got in the numerator, which gives us negative 5. This side also x gets cancelled. 28 minus 19 we get positive 9. So here we have got this expression. Now we will cross multiply and solve. Negative 5 into 19 minus x and 9 into 28 minus x. When we open the bracket, we multiply and solve. This multiplied by this 258, this multiplied by this is negative 9. Further, when we solve, 14x is equal to 347, x is equal to 347 upon 14. Thus the value of x is equal to 347 upon 14. Now this we cannot reduce it to the lowest form. So this is the answer. Question 3. Three numbers are in continued proportion whose mean proportion is 12, and the sum of the remaining two numbers is 26. Find these terms. Now here let a, b, c are in continued proportion. So 12 is the mean proportion, means 12 is b. Now the other two, sum of a and c is equal to 26. right? When we add the value of A and C, we get 26. So middle term here is 12. So therefore, sorry, A upon B is equal to B upon C. Hence mean proportion is B and B is equal to 12. Sum of the remaining numbers A plus C is equal to 26, where we can calculate A as 26 minus C. Now here we can take B square is equal to A into C. So B square is equal to A into C. So B square, we know the value of B square given here is 12. So 12 square is equal to A into C. Now A is we have found here 26 minus C, multiply by C we do not know. So we'll write same as it is. 12 square is 144, 26C. Now C multiply by 26, 26C, C multiply by C is negative C square. So when we solve this expression, bring 144 over here or bring this term over here. So C square negative, so becomes positive, this is positive becomes negative, and plus 144 is equal to 0. Now if you look at this we have got, we'll solve middle term, minus 18 minus, this is a quadratic equation. Now we know how to solve quadratic equation. We'll find the factors of 144, and after finding out the factors of 144, we have got 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 6. Now we'll split them in such a way so that we get the middle term, that is 18 plus 8. So we'll take these two, 18 plus 8, which gives us 26, but here the 26 is negative, so we'll take both the terms as negative. 8 negative 18 negative 8 is 26. So 18 negative 18C and negative 8C, we split 26 as, and their product is 144. So now again here common factor C minus 18, and here 8 common factor C minus 18. Now again we have got common here both the sides, so this is equal to 0. So C minus 18 and C minus 8. C minus 18 is common, and leftover term C minus 8 is equal to 0. Now I will take this binomial here. C minus 18 is equal to 0. So C is equal to 18. 18 goes to the right hand side, so it becomes positive. Now here C minus 8 is equal to 0. So C is equal to 8. So now if C is equal to 18, that is the third term in the continued proportion is 18. Then what will be the value of A? That is the first term. A is equal to, now we have got A is equal to 26 minus 6. So we'll take A is equal to 26 minus C. C we have got it as 18. So 26 minus 18 is A. Or supposing if C minus 8 is equal to 0, C is equal to 8. If C is equal to 8, then A is equal to, again we'll take A is equal to 26 minus C. So 26 minus 8 is equal to 18. This means if it is in ascending order, then A will be 8, B will be 12, and C will be the leftover number. Then if it is in descending order, then A will be 18, B will be 12, and C will be the smaller number. Therefore the three numbers are in continued proportion. There are 8, 12 and 18, because 26 minus 8 is 18, and here 18, 12 and 8. So ascending or descending order. Now come to question 4. If A plus B plus C and A minus B plus C is equal to A square plus B square is equal to C square, show that A, B, C are in continued proportion. So you have to show that they are in continued proportion. So A plus B plus C, all these expressions we'll write, this is given. Now what we'll do to open these brackets, first we'll bring this term to the left and yeah. Yeah, this expression will multiply it by, A will multiply with this expression, B will multiply with this expression, and C will multiply with this expression, which is equal to A square plus B square plus C square. So A with this expression, B with this expression, and C with this expression. So now we open the bracket, A square minus AB, A into C AC, B into A BA, B into minus B is minus B square, B into C is BC, C into A is AC, C into minus B is minus BC, and C into C is C square, which is equal to A square plus B square plus C square. Now the like terms will get cancelled. So negative AB, positive AB gets cancelled, positive BC and negative BC gets cancelled. Now what are the terms left over are A square, then AC, and AC is same, so 2AC. What else is left? Negative B square and positive C square, which is equal to A square plus B square plus C square. Now again A square will bring all these terms to the left hand side, right? That is negative A square, negative B square and negative C square. Then again the opposite terms will get cancelled. A square minus A square, then 2AC will be as it is, and the positive C square and negative C square gets cancelled, and minus B square is equal to B square. This B square will be here, and we have brought only A square and C square over here. Now here 2AC is left, and we'll take this B square to the right hand side, so it becomes 2B square. So 2AC is equal to 2B square. Again 2 gets cancelled. Now we have got AC is equal to B square. This means that B is the mean proportion of A and C. Therefore A, B and C are in continued proportion. Right? Finally we have, and after solving we get AC is equal to B square. This means A, B and C are in continued proportion. Or even though if we get B square is equal to AC, then also A, B and C are in continued proportion. Question 5. If A upon B is equal to B upon C and A, B, C is greater than 0, then show that. This is what we need to get the answer. So A plus B plus C, again we will multiply this A with this expression, B with this expression and C with this expression is equal to AB minus C square. So open the bracket, A into B, A into minus C AC, B into B, B square, B into minus C is minus BC, C into B is BC, and minus C square is equal to AB minus C square. Now AB and opposite terms gets cancelled, negative B, positive B gets cancelled, AB minus BC, AC, this is left, and B square minus C square is equal to, B square is equal to AC. Now here we will substitute B square with AC because we know that B square is equal to AC, right? So AB as it is, negative AC as it is, B square we will substitute as AC and minus C square. Now we are solving looking at only left hand side. This will remain the same. So AC B square we are substituting as AC because we know that B square is equal to AC. So now when we solve AB minus AC plus AC minus C square, and this is the expression here as it is, AB minus C square, AC gets cancelled. So AB minus C square is equal to AB minus C square. So left hand side is equal to right hand side. So A upon B is equal to B upon C. Let's come to question number 5, sub question 2. A square plus B square plus C square is equal to this. Now left hand side we will see Now wherever there is a b square, we will substitute b square with AC, because we know when they are in continued proportion, b square is equal to AC. So wherever there is a b square, we will change it to AC. Here there is a b square, we will change it to AC plus c square. So this is right hand side as it is. So left hand side we are solving. Now here we have substituted b square as AC. Now when we solve, common factor a plus c, and here again common factor c, leftover terms in the bracket a plus c, then AC will multiply into again a plus c into a plus c, will get a plus c whole square, right? So a plus c b square and into b square, it will be common exponent, so a into b is ab and b into c is bc whole square, common exponent, which is equal to right hand side ab plus bc whole square. So we have proved that left hand side is equal to right hand side. So right hand side is the answer. Now sub question 3 of the same question, a square plus b square upon ab and a plus c, which should be equal to a plus c upon b. As b square is equal to AC, so wherever there is b square, we will substitute it with AC. So a square plus b square upon ab is the expression left hand side. So we will substitute b square as AC. So a square plus AC upon ab. Now again we will take common factor a into bracket a plus c, leftover terms inside the bracket, upon ab. Now from this a gets cancelled. What is left is a plus c upon b. Hence it is equal to right hand side. So answer is equal to right hand side a plus c upon b. So left hand side is equal to right hand side. Let's come to question number 6. Find mean proportion of x plus y upon x minus y and x square minus y square upon x square into y square. Now mean proportion means the b term, right? This is a term, this is c term, and mean proportion is middle term b, which we do not know and we have to find it out. So let b be the mean proportion. So a upon b is equal to b upon c, and we know that b square is equal to AC. Now b square is equal to, we will multiply, this is a term and this is c term. So b square is equal to AC, so we will multiply both these expressions. So this expression is like a square minus b square and a plus, this will copy as it is. If you look at this expression in the numerator, it is like the expansion of a square minus b square. So the linear expression a plus b and a minus b. So we will write this expression as x plus y and x minus y upon x square y square. Only here the numerator we will change it to a plus b and a minus b according to this expression. Now we can solve this. B square is equal to, same expression will copy here. Here if you look, they are like terms in numerator and denominator, so gets cancelled. What are leftover terms is x plus y into x plus y upon x square y square. Now b square is equal to x plus y is x plus y whole square, same number square upon x square y square. Now taking square root on both the sides, if you take square root, this will get cancelled. Now what is left is x plus y upon xy. So mean proportion of b is equal to x plus y upon xy. So that's all for this video. Wait for my next video for problem set 4.